All right, guys, we're wrapping up day 2 of practice for the Walmart FLW Tour on Lake Champlain with Brad Knight. Brad, we're up here on the north end of the lake, and yesterday I know you were fishing down by Ty.
Yeah.
So explain that to me.
Yeah, the Ticonderoga is where I normally fish at. I've been here one time before, and I spent all 3 days of practice and both days of the tournament down there. And it suits my style. It's what suits me to fish, you know, shallow grass and stuff. And I went down yesterday and it's been a long day, and it just never really was that productive for me. I mean, I caught some, but it wasn't that great. So I figured I would try up on the north end of the lake today, and the first time seeing any of the water up here ever, so you know, it was fair. I mean, got some bites, but it's still a long ways from what I'm looking for. Definitely a lot of work to do the last day of practice.
All right. Now, it was really windy out there today, which I imagine limited you a little bit and makes it tricky. What was your strategy as far as fishing up here? Were you looking solely for largemouth? Did you try and poke for some smallmouth? What went down?
Mostly largemouth. I spent most of my time looking for largemouths today, and tomorrow I think I'm going to try to expand out onto some of the smallmouth places, and now the wind starts to settle down a little bit where you can kind of get out and explore some. But
okay,
you know, I still haven't totally ruled out going back to Ticonderoga in the morning and maybe just getting that last day out of my system just to see if it was a fluke that yesterday was as bad as it was, or if it was just me or something. But man, I don't know, I was just a little disappointed with what I saw down there. I've been here when it's good, and in my opinion, it wasn't. I mean, some people are going to catch them down there. I mean, there's just, guys are too good, and there's too many fish that live there.
The fish live there, yeah.
Yeah, it just, you know, you have a certain amount of window of time that you have during a tournament day, and for the way, you know, what I'm looking for wasn't, I never found it, I guess we'll just put it that way. Anything kind of magic or special to make you want to run that far and risk going all the way down there.
All right, up north here, what roughly are the conditions? Because we got a good feel for what's going on down south yesterday from our interviews, but I mean, obviously you got a lot of clear water here, but other than that, what are we looking at? Temperature, level, stuff like that?
Water temperature staying in the low 70s, you know, 70 to 72. I think you kind of got all phases of the spawn right now, or there's some fish spawning, some fish are just getting done. You got some fry garden, bluegill beds are starting to happen. So you have kind of all that shallow stuff in the mix. It's just, you know, the grass sometimes is not in good shape as I've seen in the past. I guess I'm looking for some of the, you know, more crisp green stuff, and I'm kind of disappointed in some of the matte stuff that you're seeing. But you know, I mean, this lake is one of the best in the country, and some of the best fishermen in the world are fixing to embark in this tournament, and they're going to catch them. Don't get me wrong, it's just not found what I'm looking for yet, I guess. We got one more day to get out there and get to work. Hopefully that'll happen. All
right, well, Brad, best of luck in your one more day. I hope you go get them.
Thank you, I'm going to need it.
All right, folks, we're joined now by Jamie Horton. Jamie, you have had a phenomenal season thus far. I mean, you pretty much caught them everywhere. I guess, how is your first couple days of practice here on Champlain been going?
You know, yesterday I went down pretty far south and fished, and I kind of really struggled. You know, I really didn't put nothing together, and it was probably 3 or 4 o'clock before I kind of figured something out, and I ended up getting 5 or 6 bites, so I kind of, that's about all I done yesterday, but they was decent. You know, I would have had a fair stringer. So today I kind of come up on this end. I didn't think the wind would be quite as bad as it was. And
it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was kind of bad getting around and finding a place to kind of get out of it where you could kind of do what I wanted to do. And you know, I hadn't smallmouth fished any. I've been pretty much just fishing for largemouth and been trying to catch them extremely shallow, you know, like maybe shallower than some people think they get. And I actually kind of struggled most of the day today, and then this evening I kind of run into a little group of them, and then another little group, and then end up having a pretty good day.
Okay. Do you think that's an evening type thing, or is that something that you think you can catch them during tournament hours?
No, I really don't think it's an evening. I think the only thing about the evening that's helped the last 2 days is the wind's just laid down a little bit.
Okay.
So, and I think these fish about if you get around them, and they seem to be in little groups. You catch one, you normally catch 2 or 3, and you know, you can kind of go from nothing to having 15 pound pretty quick, you know. So I kind of think that's the way it's going to be. I hadn't smallmouth fished any, so I don't know much about them. But the largemouth, they kind of spread out. You know, I think I hadn't seen no fry. Caught some that was really pretty, and you know, I've seen a few little males on bed, so I just kind of think they're in and out. I ain't exactly sure what they're doing as far as, I know some is spawn, but there's definitely some that hadn't.
Okay. I guess your next days, final days tomorrow, are you spending more time back up north here, back looking for more largemouth, do you think, or are you going to mix it up?
You know, I caught just enough to made me want to come back up here, and I caught just enough yesterday to make me want to go back down there. So I kind of looked at everything south that I wanted to look at, and I kind of know the better fish are down there. You know, the better chance of getting a really good bag. So I'm probably gonna stay about mid-lake or up here tomorrow and run around and look at some more stuff. And if I don't see something really good, I'm just gonna go back south and go fishing.
Okay. Now, it doesn't concern you too much the fact that, you know, you're going to be a little bit limited on time down south. You run down and you got a couple spots you feel like you can start on and catch fish to get you going, or?
Well, I mean, I kind of, unless I see something better tomorrow, I mean, I probably had 15 pound up here today, but unless I really see something better tomorrow, you know, I just feel like that's your best chance to win.
Okay. And you're definitely, I mean, you're not necessarily in the AOY race, but you're well inside the cup. So you're really just shooting for a win, or make sure you weigh some fish in this one.
Yeah, I most definitely want to weigh in. As long as I get to weigh in the first day, I'll be happy. So I am close to making a cup, and it is in Alabama, and I'd really like to make it. So I'm pretty excited about that, you know. And I'm really in a great position this week to go and fish my strength and hopefully have a good tournament.
All right, well, Jamie, thanks for stopping by, and man, best of luck tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're joined now by Mr. College Fishing National Champion, Mr. Northern, Mr. Minnesota, Mr. Smallmouth Austin Felix. A lot of things going on there.
Yeah.
We're up here on the north end of the lake. Have you spent your whole practice up here?
I have. I spent the first day kind of in the inland sea area dealing with that kind of deal, and I ran all the way north today and kind of worked my way back. It's such a big lake, and I've never been here before. I decided I'd better break it down, cut it in half, and try to deal with this half. Here there's more smallmouth on this end of the lake, and that's what I like to focus on. I feel like I have more of an advantage fishing for smallmouth. So.
Okay. To you, smallmouth are a big part of the game plan?
Absolutely. I've been spending most of my time looking for smallmouth. I think it's going to be easier to get a decent limit of smallmouth, although finding those 4-pound smallmouth are few and far between. I think I've only seen 1 in 2 days of fishing.
Okay.
So my plan is to start flipping for largemouth. I'll probably do some of that looking tomorrow, but get a solid bag together and then look for a kicker fish.
All right. And you haven't done any of that to test it out yet? You've just pretty much focused on smallmouth so far?
I mean, I've checked out a few areas that hasn't gone quite. I think I found one small area that had some largemouth in it where I shook off a few.
Okay.
But
what are you finding the stage of these smallmouth to be in? Because it's that time of year where it seems like there could be some on beds, there could be some offshore. I mean, what have you focused in on any sort of aspect of that, or are you kind of mixing it up?
There are still a few fish on beds. They're not really the size you're looking for.
Okay.
I thought there'd be a lot more coming from Oneida straight here. There was a whole nother wave of fish, and with the full moon here coming first day of the tournament, I thought that there'd be more. But there are a few at the same time. If you get around any grass, there's a ton of fry balls around. So obviously the majority of the fish are done, but I still think there's a lot of fish up shallow.
Alrighty, I like that. How have you found this lake to be compared to some of your haunts out in Minnesota? Because you've got a lot of lakes back home where they're northern lakes, but they may not line exactly up to Champlain. Have you found it be pretty easy to assimilate yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I came straight from Kentucky, but before that I've been fishing back home for a couple weeks, and the fish are about in the same stage there, and the structure is very similar. You got to deal with a lot of milfoil, a lot of coontail, a lot of that curly pondweed still here. It hasn't died off yet, so it all looks really familiar.
Okay.
And I feel pretty comfortable doing it.
Alrighty. Final day of practice, you're going to go look for some largemouth and probably keep expanding on your smallmouth situation? Yeah,
I think I'm going to put in where the tournament's going out of tomorrow, go a little further south and take a look around there.
Okay. You know, it's been pretty windy today. I think it was pretty windy the first day. I imagine that's kind of hampered you a little bit. Do you feel like if tomorrow is a little calmer, is that going to help you out a lot, you think?
I mean, it just changed the way you have to go about it. The wind actually doesn't hurt the fishing as long as, especially the smallmouth fishing. I mean, they're on some of those wind-blown points pretty good. And
they'll eat.
You can whale on a lot of them. I mean, it's getting rid of the 14, 16-inch fish and finding those 3 to 4 pounders. It's the hard part.
All right. Well, tell you what, man, best of luck tomorrow finding a few more of those 3 to 4 pounders and then plenty of them in the tournament.
Thank you.